I'm Bob Wilhelm, and today we're going to explore how we measure the amount of light, how we know how much light we are receiving every day, because the amount of light, the level of light, the duration of light affects the winter blues and seasonal affective disorder. Now, in previous videos, I've spoken about very simple things that all of us can do to help us prepare for the winter and get through the winter with a little more ease. Getting morning light, first of all. Secondly, taking a walk in the morning. And third, avoiding bright lights at night. Three habitual things that will make a difference, even if you don't have seasonal affective disorder. But today I want to take the next step and I want to talk about how do you know if you're getting enough light? Now, there's a natural feedback system that we all have. We, um, we sense how we feel, and if we have the winter blues or sad, when we don't get enough light, we experience a lot of symptoms, and we know we're not getting enough light. However, there's a problem with this very subjective way of knowing whether we get enough light. Sometimes we can be in a room, a place where the lights seem to be very bright, but in fact they're not as bright as we think they are. They might be brighter than the surrounding environment. Right now I'm in a sunroom. This is my home in Maryland. And this sunroom is totally surrounded by glass, and it has atop of it, it has skylights. So I'm just going to move this up so you can just get a look, get a sense of, oh, there they are. These are the skylights. And I also have built in actually 2 dozen fluorescent full spectrum lights that surround the three walls of the room that I'm facing. They go from down one wall, down up the other, and back again. So that's a lot of wattage. And when this room is lit up, it seems to be very, very bright. And so I always thought it's important on a day like today, which is a cloudy day, very common here in Appalachia at the during the fall and also during the spring. So if you live in a place that is cloud covered a lot, it extends the season for the winter blues. Now, I always assumed that this was enough light, and I discovered it wasn't. And how did I discover that? Well, last year I found out that there was a device. I've been looking for one for a long, long time. I've looked at camera devices that measure light, and none of them are really what I was looking for. And so I'd always hoped that someone, somewhere, some researcher in light technology who was interested in seasonal affective disorder would design a simple device, a really simple device that would help me to really know how much light I receive. And someone did. And this happened for me last November. So now it's September, it's almost a year. And during that time, when I was in Florida, because I live in Florida from early November till about Easter time, I was recording a phenomenal amount of light when I was outdoors. All I needed to do, I discovered, was just be outdoors more. No other treatment was needed, and my SAD was completely cured. And I have a very severe case of it. So we'll talk about that later, but take a winter vacation to where there's sunshine. Not necessarily heat, warmth, that's good, but clear skies. You need to go to a place where there are clear skies. Now, let's return to what happened last November. I discovered that there was an item called a sun sprite. Now, this is the sun sprite right here. I'm going to show it to you. It's very, very, it looks small because it's right in front of the screen. But if you bring this back to my face, you see it's really, it's smaller than you think. And it's very, very handy. Now, I have to make a disclaimer right now. I have no interest in SunSprite. I don't sell the item. I don't receive commissions or anything like that. And I have to do that because I couldn't talk to you about this if I didn't, because I would have a conflict of interest. So this is just my opinion based on my experience of SunSprite and my many, many years of dealing with SAD. So this little device was created by a company in Cambridge, Massachusetts, by people who were researching SAD. And the way that it works is two ways. One is you can just use it as it is. You don't need any software or whatever. Or you can get an app for it, as I do, and that helps. It's a free app, and it helps keep track day by day the amount of light that you have. Now, it's still early in the morning. It's a cloudy day. Even though I had my lights on in this room, I wasn't getting enough light to really measure anything. So when I want to see whether I'm getting enough light, I press a little button on the side. There it goes, it went on. But you see the light didn't go up and down. There's a series of 10 little LED lights. And as you get enough light during the day, they will fill up like a thermometer. They'll keep rising until you get to the top, and then you know you've gotten enough light for the day. The important thing, however, is that most of the crucial light does have to come early in the morning after the sun comes up. So I'm not going to talk about it. It's self-charging. It's solar powered appropriately. So all you need to do is just leave it around. And if you wear it, it just charges by itself. Every once in a while you can check to see whether all 10 lights are lit up. Or if you want a more accurate reading, you can sync it. Very simple to sync it with your device. And you get a visual graph and so forth that gives you a lot of information. It's a wonderful, wonderful app to use. So, and of course, it just clips on. So there's a magnet here, a very strong magnet, and you can put it anywhere that approximates the amount of light that you are receiving in your eyes. So it wouldn't be good to have it down, for example, on your back collar, or it wouldn't be good to have it on your shoes or on your legs. You want it somewhere near the face or the upper body, and you want it facing the direction that you normally face. So the SunSprite will tell you how much light you have. Now, I have to tell you what had happened to me. This fall, as the days began to get shorter, and I began to have my first symptoms in early August. Most people don't, but I do because my case is severe. And by September, I'm already feeling the effects. So a month later, Labor Day, and I'm already feeling the effects of SAD. You can see it on my face. I mean, right now, this is natural light. I'm in the sunroom. But you can see my tiredness. You can see the beginnings of SAD affecting me. This is how my wife knows that I'm going under. I'm not getting enough light. And actually, this year it's been particularly difficult because there has been so much cloud cover. So I really have to find places for light. If you do not receive 2,500 lux, that's a measurement, a light measurement, 2,500 lux of light, it has no effect for your winter blues or SAD. So I could be sitting in the sunroom. In fact, the level of the sun, I measured it just a while ago, it's 1.2 on a cloudy day, even though all the walls are glass and the ceiling is glass. So on a cloudy day, I'm receiving less than half of the minimum amount. I could sit here from sunrise to sunset and it wouldn't do me any good. Now, I didn't know this. I assumed, well, if I sat inside in one of the other rooms with a smaller window and it was dark, that wasn't good enough. But if I sat out here, this is like sitting outside, and it's not. So this is where the issue comes in of, well, what am I going to do about it? But that comes later. Let's not talk about that now. All you need to know is what is the level of light. So above 2,500, it's effective, and the SunSprite measures it all the way up to 12,000. So on a bright, sunny day, midday, no clouds in the sky, you're outside, and you'll receive close to that amount, even in a place like Maryland. Maybe not full amount, maybe 8,000, 10,000, but it's working. On the other hand, if you're in the subtropics or the desert or a latitude closer to the equator, it's going to just hit the top. It's going to be 12,000 from the moment the sun rises in the morning, and that means that you're going to get your light treatment very, very effectively. So go to their website, read the reviews on it. I don't know of any other company that produces anything like this. Now, there are lots of companies that produce devices that give you light, sun boxes, light boxes, fixtures, all kinds of things, visors that you can wear, all kinds of things to supplement the amount of light. But how do you know if you're actually receiving enough light? You can trick yourself subjectively, as I have done many, many times, including this year, when in fact I wasn't receiving enough light. But the SunSprite will do it for you. So the cost is about $100. And that may seem to be a lot. I don't consider it to be a lot. I consider it to be therapy every day of the half of the winter, half of the year, because I know I can keep track, especially with the app, on how much light I'm receiving. And the app shows you the optimal time to receive the light, which is about 2 hours after sunrise, early in the morning. So it becomes a tool. It's not itself a therapeutic tool, but it is, because it gives you the information to know whether you're getting enough light, and then you can make decisions about what to do about it. So we'll talk about that later on. And monitor yourself all through the winter. Make sure you get natural light as much as possible. There are other things you can do to supplement natural light, but believe me, there's nothing like early morning light every day and a walk or a bicycle ride or a jog outside. You don't have to do a lot of it, but you've got to consider setting some time apart in your busy day, whether it's a work day or a school day or whatever it is. It's really important to do the basics, and it's really important to monitor yourself. So consider SunSprite. I think it's a great deal. I think it's a wonder. I'm Bob Wilhelm, Robert Bela Wilhelm, and I was diagnosed with a serious case of SAD almost 30 years ago. And during these 30 years, every year I have worked on different ways of dealing with it. And the purpose of this series is to share some of these insights with you so that you are not alone in your journey through winter. That's one of the worst things about it. People don't understand SAD. They don't understand that those of us who are affected by SAD, among other things, experience a need to withdraw socially. We isolate ourselves once the effects of winter blues descends upon us, and we make it worse for ourselves. So it's important to monitor, to keep your light levels up, to be with friends and family, to socialize, and you'll get through winter. It won't be a happy journey, but it can be a quiet, joyful journey, because there are many discoveries that can be made if you have the winter blues.